Good morning and welcome to the Commissioners' Work Session for June 15th. We'll start with the Hospital Authority.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, John.
Morning, John.
We got a sequel here. I get to come see you twice this year. Typically, as you know, the Meadville Medical Center comes before the Crawford County Hospital Authority to get some tax-exempt financing. I came earlier this year and that financing closed, and that was for the purpose of refinancing certain debt at a lower interest rate for the hospital. Hospitals now come before the authority for a second time, this one for their more traditional annual capital expenditures. We had a Crawford County Hospital Authority meeting yesterday. Renee Sante, the Chief Financial Officer of the hospital, came before the authority and presented the plans for the hospital to borrow approximately $8 million through Laurel Capital, which is the borrowing source that they've traditionally used. That monies will be used primarily for their capital expenditures. The capital expenditure budget, Renee explained, is approximately $14 million, so the borrowing is only half of that, and traditionally they had borrowed the majority of the capital expenditure budget. So the message from Renee was that trend is a positive one, and that they're able to fund some of their capital expenditures internally now as opposed to borrowing. There's no major project to report. The monies will be spent primarily just to update equipment, update facilities, things of that nature, but nothing significant. As the board knows now, since we've been down this road a couple times, we'll be asking you to sign a resolution approving the borrowing, as well as a certificate of the applicable elected representative, consistent with the IRS code, which is the requirement of issuing the tax-exempt financing. Finally, as the board knows, this is not an obligation of the authority nor of the county. We're simply a pass-through for the ultimate borrower, which is the hospital.
Any question for John? Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Clerk of Courts. Morning, Patty.
Morning, Patty.
I'm just here to ask to have my solicitor payment made for its quarterly $1,000, and it is improved in the budget.
Any questions for Patty? Thank you, Patty.
Thank you.
Assessment, Mr. Galvin.
Good morning.
Morning, Joseph. Morning, Joe.
I bring before you this morning a request for tax refund for Kyle A. and Andrea Ball due to a clerical error on parcel 4205-43 located at 24574 Pine Ridge Road in Cambridge Springs. I believe that you should have the letters attached. A real estate refund is due for these folks. A second story was added over a pre-existing garage for 2021 tax year. When the addition was assessed, the original garage assessment was re-added inadvertently for a second time. This resulted in the garage portion being double assessed for taxes. Error has been corrected for the 2022 tax year, which reduced the assessment by $5,503. The owners are entitled to refund for tax year 2021 in accordance with Title 53, Section 8816 of the annotated statutes, and we have a breakdown of the 2021 county and library tax based on the assessment.
Any questions for Joe? Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Joe.
IT, Mr. Brown.
Good morning.
Morning,
Morning,
Tim.
IT is here to request the purchase of 24 Wi-Fi access points from CDI for $7,607.04. 21 of those access points are the end-of-life existing access points that are end-of-life and are not supported anymore. And 3 of them are for some dead zones, Wi-Fi dead zones in the Human Services Department.
Okay. Any questions for Tim? Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
Domestic Relations. Morning, Heidi.
Good morning.
Morning, Heidi.
Seeking approval this morning, and I believe signature and then ratification next week for a copier maintenance and supply agreement with Hagen Business Machines.
Questions for Heidi? Thank you, Heidi. Correctional Facility, Mr. Greenfield.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Jack.
Morning, Jack.
This morning I'm here to request the approval of purchase of 1 Redman XP instructor suit, 2 Redman training mats, and 2 Redman striking pads. All items are needed to facilitate defensive tactics training. This will be purchased from BOTAC Incorporated at the price of $3,218, and this is a budgeted item. Second, requesting approval of 6 Phenon tactical riot suits purchased to ensure the safety and security of staff and inmates during cell extractions. to be purchased through Botech Incorporated at the price of $3,150, and this is also a budgeted item.
Jack, those two things, they're not related in any way, shape, or form?
No, they're not.
Okay, thank you.
No, one's for training to learn how to do that.
And then it's just the mission,
Exactly.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, one thing I'd like to point out about the ride suits, they're called ride suits, but they're actually extraction. Big thing with those are intimidation.
Okay.
So.
Is this something that we could try in Commissioner Soft?
Sure.
Okay.
Be happy to.
I have a lot of other stuff
You
out
probably
there,
have
too.
one that fits him as well, I'm sure.
I mean, he can't handle it, but
No.
I should be able to.
Stop out anytime.
All right, thank you.
And lastly, we're requesting approval of purchase of one 22-inch metal encased monitor for replacement of a broken one to be purchased from Global Corrections System at the cost of $768, and this is also a budgeted item.
Any questions for Jack? Thank you, Jack.
Okay, thanks,
Thanks,
Jack.
Jack.
Sheriff?
Morning, Commissioner.
Morning, Dave.
Morning, Dave.
I'm here to request approval for the purchase of 4 new vests and 2 carriers in the amount of $3,631.74.
Okay.
The next thing is I'm requesting we approve the rapid scan maintenance agreement for the x-ray machines in the judicial center. There's 2 of them. For both of them, it's $9,240. I'm also requesting to approve the rapid scan maintenance agreement for the x-ray machine in the courthouse, which is $5,060.
Any question for Dave?
Just a question, on the vests, I know on occasion, there's a program where you get half that cost reimbursed. Does
I don't
that
know if it's
apply
quite-
here?
Yeah, it should apply here.
Okay.
In fact, I think they changed it now, we can also get some towards the carriers.
Okay,
So, the 2 of the vests I'm replacing, we bought the new carriers with the calendar money last
Okay.
year, so I'm just buying the vests.
so we may get some of that $3,600 back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Close to half, I hope.
Great.
something.
Perfect.
Any other questions for Dave? Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Care Center, Ms. Moore? Brought your glasses with you, it's good.
I did, good morning.
Morning, Tanya.
Morning.
I'm requesting to ratify the contract with Vantage, and this is for the consultant pharmacist retainer.
Okay,
Requesting to approve the billing amendment with the Affinity Health Services.
okay,
Requesting to approve the amendment with Vantage, long-term care for the pharmaceutical services agreement.
okay,
Requesting to approve the contract with Diagnostic X-ray Services for mobile imaging services.
okay,
Requesting to approve the quote from Absolute Fire Protection, and this is to correct deficiencies in the sprinkler system in the amount of $13,520 to be paid from maintenance outside services.
okay,
And requesting to approve the quote from Ross Plumbing and Heating to replace a 7.5-ton carrier rooftop unit and compressor in the amount of $10,562.91. This is to be paid from ARPA funds.
okay. Any questions for Tanya? Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Planning, Mr. Norwood?
Morning,
Morning,
Zach.
Zach.
Morning, Zachary.
The first 3 items this morning are similar, so I'm going to talk to them collectively, but in your regular meeting, I'll take them independently. So we have ratified a NDA with Windstream Services, Crown Castle, and Armstrong Cable. This is associated with the broadband efforts, so that we can coordinate the investments in a most logical manner.
Okay,
Next, we've ratified, or seeking ratification of a contract with Herbert, Rowland, and Gerbic, Inc., HRG. This is for the East Branch Trail Knox and Kane project. It's for the engineering and design services. The total contract amount is $315,960. This is paid for out of the ARC grant that we received. The total grant was $1.5 million. The next 2 items are invoices from Stifler McGraw. The first is $725.09 April invoice for Beaver Township, their CDBG project. This is paid for out of CDBG funds. The second is a $381 invoice for the April invoice for their Steuben Township work for their CDBG project. also paid out of CDBG funds.
I know the Steuben had a little farther to go, but the Beaver project, is it pretty much complete?
They all are very close to being
Okay.
finished. In fact, we got notification from the prime contractor last week that the doors should have come into the vendor
okay.
as of last week. This week they should be on site and should be finishing up all three projects.
Oh, great.
Richmond,
Thank you.
Steuben, and Beaver.
Great.
Next, we're asking for approval of an invoice for the Meadville Tribune in the amount of $428.25. These are for the City of Meadville's Heidi Cooper Environmental Review advertisements. It's paid for out of the City of Meadville's CDBG program.
Okay.
And then next is a payment authorization invoice from Dynasty Construction Unlimited, Inc. This is for $35,283.60. It's for work completed at Vernon Township's municipal building on their ADA project. It is paid for out of the fiscal year 2018 and 2019 CDBG program.
Okay.
And then the last item this morning is a invoice from CATA for $97.05 for their May 2022 Rural Family Workforce and Transit program expenses. This is paid for out of our CDBG program.
Any questions for Zach?
Yeah, if I could go back to D, with the art grant.
Yes.
Is this the first expenditure out of that 1.5?
This is it is not the first expenditure, but it is the first largest expenditure. I think we've drawn about 25,000 down in administrative expenses for advertising
Sure.
and salaries of staff. This is the largest that we'll have. We'll have roughly 730,000 left over from the grant because a portion of the 1.5 will go to Brady Tunnel in Clarion County. So the remaining amount available is all for Crawford and McKean counties.
All right, that answers my question. Thanks, Zach.
No
Any
problem.
other questions? Thank you, Zach.
Sure. Thank you all.
Maintenance Department? Morning, Mark.
Morning, Mark.
Requesting to ratify approval to pay Mark Johnson Electric for the first billing of the Exhibit 1 exhaust fan project for $6,700. It'll be paid for with American Rescue Plan monies.
Okay.
Asking to ratify approval to pay an invoice for the courthouse remodeling project, the HVAC project, in the amount of $88,971.
Okay.
Request approval to pay Brian Noah, the project manager, for professional services for the month of May, $810.
Okay.
Requesting to ratify approval of invoices for the courthouse remodeling project, new assessment office, in the amount of $9,150 from Folks Flooring America.
Okay.
Requesting to ratify approval of invoices from the courthouse remodeling project, the registering quarters office remodel, in the amount of $10,150. This is from Folks Flooring America.
Okay.
Requesting to ratify approval of invoices from Stifler McGraw and Associates for professional services, invoice number 7, $831.72, and that should say ramp project. I'll get that changed
Okay.
for the meeting. Requesting to ratify approval, I'll get that changed too. Approval. To pay invoice for Stifler McGraw and Associates professional services, invoice number 8 for $343.25, and that's also for the ramp.
Okay.
Requesting to ratify approval of invoices. I should do it again. Requesting to approve to pay Powell Sanitation and Construction. This is to clean out the sewer lines at the fairgrounds and run a camera down them for $675. That'll be changed also.
F, G, and H.
F, G, and H,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, I didn't proofread this week. Apologize. Requesting to ratify approval of invoices from the courthouse remodeling project for the new treasurer's office. That's starting for $345.
That's exciting.
You got
There's
it.
hope.
Yeah. Any questions for Mark? Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. Thanks, Mark.
Human Services? Good morning, Sue.
Morning, Sue.
I'm requesting approval for the fiscal year 22-23 MATP Assurance of Compliance Agreement. We've not yet received an initial allocation for MATP.
Okay.
Requesting to ratify payment to the Center for Family Services for the delivery of ERAP 2 services through 6/3 of '22, totaling $382,012.63. with no cost to the county, all paid with ERAP 2 funds.
Do you know where he's at still with
He
this?
said he's around half.
Half, okay, thank you.
Yep. Requesting approval for PCYA's memorandum of understanding with Computer Aid for CAP's technical support from 5/16 to 6/30/23. In the past, we had a contract with CCAP to provide such IT support services and assist with contract management, testing procedures, and overall management of information. When we started moving to a new enterprise case management system, there was no longer a need for IT support and the contract was terminated. At this time, it's become clear that the service is once again needed. At this point, the PCYA board has approved the entry into this contract, provided it is agreed to by all the CAPS counties. The CAPS governance board had a chance to meet with CAI to ensure that their deliverables will meet our needs. The contract amount is based on the same amounts counties previously paid for such services. I'm requesting approval for payment to Travelers Cafe for $191. This was for an in-house lunch meeting for our intellectual disability service coordinators during their annual rollover of all of the ID individual service plans to fiscal year 22-23. Cost of the county is $10.20. Requesting approval for a payment to Western Psychological Services for $7,700.40 for the purchase of assessment materials for intellectual disabilities intakes. The Office of Developmental Programs has changed the yearly eligibility requirements for individuals with ID. These new requirements went into effect 3/1/22. The ABAS 3 assessment is the recommended assessment to be used to meet the new requirements. Our department has purchased the ABAS 3 online system to administer and score the assessments for the individuals we serve rather than refer them out to a provider. We were having difficulties getting in with a provider in a timely manner. We would like to purchase additional online ABAS 3 assessment forms to increase our overall quantity of assessments that we will be able to administer. These forms are able to be used at any time. They don't expire. ARPA funding for fiscal year 21-22 is approved for this purchase, and there's no cost to the county.
Okay.
Requesting approval for payment to Word Systems LLC for $2,346.12 for the yearly maintenance agreement for the equipment at the Crawford County Children's Interview Center from 5/1/22 to 4/30/23. This is a budgeted item. Cost of the county is $512.81.
Okay.
Requesting approval for an amendment to the Bethesda Lutheran Services fiscal year 21-22 contract. This amendment is adding Family First Transition Act funds to the contract. These funds are offsetting select costs that the provider incurred due to becoming a specialized setting provider. There is no county match on these funds.
Okay.
And finally, requesting approval for the fiscal year 22-23 contract with Sign Language Interpreting Professionals LLC. This agency provides ASL interpretation for consumers. They have increased the interpreting rate from $57 an hour to $62 an hour, and the interpreting for evening and weekends from $60 to $65 an hour. They also have increased the rate for emergency interpreting from $65 to $75 an hour. All other rates are the same as the current year.
Okay. Any questions for Sue? Thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
Finance.
Good morning.
Good morning, Stephanie.
I am here requesting approval for invoices totaling $47,393.68. The first is to Mayor Dussel. It's the 2021 audit second progress billing, invoice number 485583 in the amount of $25,000, and it comes from the Finance Professional Services. The second is for is to Crawford County Human Services for fiscal year 21-22 quarter 4 EI match. The amount is $14,919.87. It comes from the general fund MHMR contributions. The third is to Svets Energy Services. It's our third quarter payment, invoice number 65522 in the amount of $1,714. Comes from Buildings and Grounds Professional Services. The fourth is to Starn Marketing. It's the broadband survey. The invoice number is 8920 in the amount of $3,786.78. Comes from ARPA Professional Services. And finally, Dell Marketing LP. It's a Dell Latitude laptop, monitor, and dock. The amount is $1,973.03, and it comes from Finance Computer Hardware. This is for the new position. So,
Any questions for that? Okay.
and then, an update on the 2022 mileage rate. Please be advised that the optional standard mileage rate for business use of a personal vehicle will continue to be reimbursed at the IRS rate. Effective July 1st, 2022, the new IRS rate is 62.5 cents per mile. Mileage incurred in 2022, January 1st through June 30th, 22, not paid until after July 2022, will be reimbursed at the previous IRS rate of 58.5 cents per mile. So this will be for you to sign and move forward with.
Okay. Any questions for Stephanie on that? Okay. The Crawford County Fair Board, Commissioner Witherspoon will be speaking on behalf of them.
Okay, we have several contracts that the Fair Board has approved as, according to the MOU, now come before the commissioners. The first one is for Westmead Police for the security they typically do during the fair. They've done this for a number of years, Saturday the 20th through Saturday the 27th, and that is $53.93. Port Lock for cleaning of the restrooms for the week of the fair. They've done this also for a number of years. That's $4,000. And then Country Redford, the opening country music act, and the Hillbilly Way, the main country music act, both on Friday the 26th. And then also you'll see the complete schedule of hourly rates for the workers that the Fair Board approved at their last meeting, and come before us now for our approval. I won't go over those individual rates unless there's a question.
Any questions for Francis?
Nope.
Thank you, Francis.
You're welcome, sir.
The Commissioner's Office.
First item I have is an Act 14 notification from Frank B. Taylor Engineering for NPDES permit, for permit application for small flow treatment facility in North Shenango Township. I have an Act 146768 notification from Dyson Helmy for small flow sewage treatment facility in Woodcock Township, and an Act 14 notification from EnviroThink for Channel Lock, state-only operating permit renewal application.
Okay. Any public comment? Commissioner comments. Commissioner Witherspoon?
I have none today, sir.
Commissioner Stock?
No, nothing, thanks.
I have none either. If not, we will see you at the full session on June 22nd. Thank you.